If you've ever felt that strange tingling in your feet, that burning sensation that comes and goes, or that annoying numbness that makes it feel like your feet are half asleep, then stay right here with me, because what I'm about to share with you comes straight from Japan's oldest practicing doctor, a man whose simple 1-minute nerve trick has surprised millions of people. And what's even more surprising is that it works regardless of your age, your fitness level, or how long you've been dealing with that uncomfortable nerve issue. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break this down in the simplest, most practical way possible, and by the time you finish watching, you're going to know exactly how to do this 1-minute nerve reset trick at home without any equipment, without any medicine, and without any special training. So let's get into it, and make sure you stay with me till the end, because the reason this trick works is just as fascinating as the trick itself. Many people don't realize that the tingling, burning, and numb sensations they feel in their feet aren't random or harmless. They are early warning signals that the nerves inside the feet are under stress, irritated, or lacking proper oxygen and circulation. These tiny nerves, which number in the thousands, act like a communication network between the feet and the brain. And whenever something interrupts that communication, whether it's pressure, lack of blood flow, inflammation, or even mild compression, they begin sending out distress signals. What we interpret as tingling or burning is actually the body's way of saying, something needs attention down here. Most people brush off these sensations and assume they're temporary, but the truth is that nerves rarely send signals without a reason. Even that light buzzing feeling that comes and goes is a sign that the nerves are struggling to perform normally. The Japanese doctor explains that ignoring these early signs is one of the biggest mistakes people make, because nerves are delicate structures that rely heavily on oxygen and movement to stay healthy. When these nerves become starved of oxygen because of slow blood flow, they begin to misfire. Instead of transmitting clear signals, they send distorted messages that the brain translates as burning, tingling, numbness, or tiny electric shock-like sensations. At first, these episodes may be short and infrequent, which is why people think they'll go away on their own. But over time, if the underlying cause, usually poor circulation or mild nerve compression, continues, the sensations become more frequent and more uncomfortable. What starts as a simple warning can eventually turn into a daily struggle. This is why early intervention is so important. When the nerves first begin showing signs of distress, that's the perfect moment to support them with proper movement, stretching, and increased blood flow so they can recover quickly. The body always gives signals before problems become serious, and tingling or burning feet are part of that built-in alarm system. Another thing the doctor emphasizes is that these sensations are not necessarily a sign of permanent nerve damage, which is what many people fear. Instead, in most cases, they're signs of temporary nerve irritation, something that can be relieved with proper care if addressed early. These nerves behave a lot like small electrical wires. If a wire is bent or pinched, the current becomes unstable, causing flickering or static. But if the wire is straightened and the flow is restored, everything returns to normal. The same principle applies to nerves in the feet. When circulation improves, when pressure is reduced, and when the pathways open up again, the nerves settle down and the sensations fade. This is why the doctor encourages people to pay attention to even the slightest tingling instead of waiting for real pain to appear, because pain is a later stage signal, while tingling and numbness are the body's earlier and gentler warnings that the nerves are seeking help and that restoring circulation and movement can prevent further progression. Japan's oldest practicing doctor often surprises people when he explains that one of the most effective ways to calm irritated nerves in the feet is not a long treatment, not a medication, and not a complicated therapy, but a simple 1-minute technique that anyone can do at home. He has spent decades observing how people's nerves respond to movement, circulation, and oxygen flow, and through thousands of patients, he noticed a pattern. When nerves in the feet start sending signals like tingling or burning, they are not permanently damaged but are struggling because fresh blood isn't reaching them properly. This lack of circulation causes the nerves to misfire, creating those uncomfortable sensations. What he discovered is that when you perform a specific series of gentle, controlled movements, you can instantly activate the small muscles around the foot and ankle, which in turn boosts blood flow, bringing oxygen and nutrients back to the tiny nerve endings that desperately need them. The moment that oxygen-rich blood returns, the nerves begin calming down, and the faulty signals start to correct themselves. The 1-minute technique he teaches is incredibly simple, yet it works because it follows the natural structure of the foot. By pointing the toes, pulling them back, and making slow circular motions, you're not just stretching muscles, you're stimulating what he calls the nerve pathway. This pathway is like a communication road that connects the feet to the brain. When circulation slows down or nerves get compressed from sitting too long or wearing tight shoes, that communication becomes distorted. The gentle stretching and circular movements help reopen that pathway, much like clearing debris from a clogged pipe. Once it's clear, signals travel smoothly again, and the brain stops interpreting them as tingling or burning. This is why many people feel a warm, soothing sensation just seconds after trying the technique, because warmth is the natural sign of blood flow returning. The doctor emphasizes that the power of this trick lies in its ability to work quickly. Most nerve issues feel worse when the nerves are stagnant, so the movement itself wakes them up and encourages circulation almost immediately. The circular motion of the foot also engages the ankle joint, which plays a big role in pumping blood upward. When that pump activates, even briefly, it sends a wave of circulation through the lower leg and into the feet, feeding the nerves with nutrients they desperately need. People often underestimate how quickly nerves respond to oxygen, but the doctor has seen again and again that even a short burst of improved blood flow can dramatically reduce the distorted signals coming from irritated nerves. What makes this technique even more impactful is that anyone can do it, regardless of age or physical condition. It doesn't require strength, flexibility, or equipment. It doesn't strain the joints or cause discomfort. It simply guides the foot through movements that the body naturally understands. The doctor believes that the reason this method has helped so many people is because it works with the body rather than against it. Instead of forcing the nerves to behave through medication, the technique gently encourages the body to restore its own balance. By repeating it daily, the nerves slowly regain their rhythm, the pathways stay open, and the sensations gradually fade. For many people, this becomes a small but powerful daily habit that keeps their feet feeling alive, warm, and comfortable throughout the day, proving that sometimes the simplest solutions are the ones the body responds to the most naturally. Most people never stop to think about how incredibly complex the feet actually are, and because of that, they underestimate how easily things can go wrong when those tiny structures are stressed. The feet contain more than 7,000 nerve endings, all packed into a relatively small area, all constantly working to help you balance, walk, stand, sense temperature, and feel the ground beneath you. These nerves don't just sit there quietly. They are constantly transmitting signals back and forth with the brain, adjusting every step you take, every shift in your posture, and every movement of your body. Because they're so delicate and so tightly packed, they are also among the first parts of the body to show signs of irritation, pressure, and poor circulation. Even something as simple as sitting for too long without moving your ankles can start to compress some of these nerve pathways, and the moment those pathways get irritated, the nerves begin sending out signals like tingling, burning, buzzing, or numbness. What makes the feet particularly vulnerable is how much weight and pressure they carry every single day. Think about it. From morning to night, your feet bear the impact of your entire body. Every time you take a step, the nerves, muscles, and tiny bones inside the foot absorb that pressure. Now add in the fact that many people wear shoes that are too tight, too narrow, or too stiff. Others stand for long periods at work. Some sit in one position for hours without moving their feet at all. All of these habits build up and slowly restrict the natural flow of blood and nerve communication. When circulation slows down or nerves get compressed, the signals that normally travel smoothly become distorted. It's like bending a wire slightly. If you keep it bent long enough, it starts malfunctioning. The nerves in the feet react the same way. Another thing people don't realize is that the feet are filled with some of the thinnest and most sensitive nerves in the entire body. These nerves are designed for precision, detecting even the smallest changes in surface, pressure, or balance. But because they are so fine and so sensitive, they are also quick to react when something isn't right. A slight shift in posture, a bit of swelling, or a small reduction in circulation is enough to irritate them. That irritation turns into the sensations we often describe as pins and needles or "my foot is going to sleep." While most people brush it off as temporary, these sensations are actually early signs that those tiny nerves are not getting what they need to function properly. Over time, repeated stress on the feet can cause the nerves to become more reactive. This is why someone who spends years working on their feet might suddenly begin experiencing numbness, or someone who sits too long might deal with frequent tingling. The nerves don't fail all at once, they signal gradually. The doctor explains that these symptoms are not random, they are communication. The nerves are saying that something is interfering with their ability to send clean, clear signals. Maybe it's tension, maybe it's lack of oxygen, maybe it's compression from footwear or posture. But whatever the reason, those nerves need relief. Because the feet are so rich in nerve endings, they depend heavily on healthy blood flow to stay responsive and strong. When blood moves freely, it brings oxygen and nutrients to the nerves, allowing them to function without stress. But when circulation slows down even slightly, the nerves become starved, and that starvation shows up as discomfort. This is why simple movements, stretching, or techniques like the one taught by Japan's oldest doctor make such a big difference in such a short amount of time. These movements wake up the feet, restore the natural flow of blood, release pressure, and give the nerves a fresh supply of oxygen. Once they get what they need, they calm down, and the sensations begin to fade. Understanding how dense and delicate the nerve network in the feet is helps explain why these sensations are so common and why addressing them early is so important. When you realize that more than 7,000 tiny nerves are working non-stop to help you move through your day, it becomes clear why even small compression or poor circulation can trigger noticeable symptoms. The good news is that because these nerves are so responsive, they also react quickly to gentle care, movement, and proper circulation, which is exactly why techniques that focus on restoring natural nerve flow can bring fast and meaningful relief. The 1-minute technique that Japan's oldest doctor teaches may look simple on the surface, but what makes it so powerful is the way it activates the natural systems inside the feet that most people don't even know exist. When you point your toes, pull them back, and then slowly rotate your ankle in wide circles, you are doing far more than stretching. You are stimulating the foot's built-in nerve pump, a mechanism that relies on subtle movements to push blood through the tiny vessels surrounding the nerves. Most people assume that blood circulation in the feet depends only on the heart, but the doctor explains that the feet themselves play a direct role in assisting the upward flow of blood. The gentle flexing and circular rotations create a pressure change inside the foot, almost like squeezing and releasing a sponge. When this sponge-like action begins, the blood that has been pooling or slowing down in the lower part of the foot starts to move again, carrying oxygen to nerve endings that may have been deprived for hours. As soon as that oxygen-rich blood reaches the nerves, the sensations that felt like tingling or burning begin to calm because the nerves are no longer starving. This is why people often feel a warm or soothing wave rising through their feet while doing the movement. That warmth is the direct sign that circulation is returning. The circular motion also stimulates the ankle joint, which is one of the most important but overlooked parts of the body when it comes to nerve health. The ankle acts as a hinge for both movement and blood flow. When you rotate it slowly and deliberately, you exercise tiny stabilizing muscles that don't get used much during normal walking. These muscles help squeeze blood upward and keep the nerve pathways open. When these muscles are weak or stiff, the nerve signals coming from the feet can become distorted, which is why the doctor stresses the importance of circular foot motion. The second part of the technique, alternating between pointing the toes and pulling them back, helps stretch the fascia, tendons, and small muscles along the bottom of the foot. These structures don't just support your weight, they also house small nerve fibers that get compressed when the feet are stiff or tired. By stretching them gently, you release that compression and give the nerves more space to function normally. This simple stretch helps reset the nerve pathway by removing the tightness that often builds up after long hours of standing or sitting. The brain loves clear signals, and when the nerves are no longer trapped or squeezed, the brain instantly receives cleaner information, reducing the weird buzzing or numbness that people often complain about. What makes the technique even more effective is the slow, controlled movement. When people move too fast, the muscles react but the nerves don't have enough time to respond. Slow rotations and slow stretches allow the nerves to recalibrate. They help the body shift from tension to relaxation, encouraging proper blood flow and smoother nerve communication. The doctor observed that even a single minute of these movements can create a noticeable change in how the feet feel because the nerves respond quickly to fresh oxygen and gentle stimulation. Once you activate the nerve pump and release compression through controlled movement, the nerves begin to behave normally again, reducing the sensations that made the feet feel uncomfortable in the first place. The simplicity of the motion is exactly what allows the nervous system to reset, proving that the body often needs gentle, natural input rather than intense or complicated methods to restore balance and comfort. The real secret behind this Japanese nerve reset method isn't just the movement itself but the power of consistency, something the doctor emphasizes more than anything else. He explains that nerves don't repair themselves in one big dramatic moment. They improve through small, repeated actions that gradually restore healthy circulation and communication. When you perform the 1-minute technique every day, especially in the morning, you're giving your nerves a predictable pattern of movement, oxygen flow, and gentle activation that they begin to rely on. This daily stimulation prevents the nerves from falling back into that sluggish, compressed state that causes tingling, burning, or numbness. Just like brushing your teeth keeps them clean not because of one long brushing session but because of regular, repeated care, the nerves in your feet stay healthier when they receive consistent movement instead of occasional attention. Morning is especially important because the nerves and muscles in the feet stiffen overnight. Hours of being still reduce circulation, and many people notice their symptoms are worst right when they wake up. By doing the 1-minute reset as soon as you get out of bed, you immediately warm up the nerve pathways, increase blood flow, and prepare your feet for the rest of the day. This early stimulation helps reduce the morning numbness that so many people experience, and it prevents the nerves from starting the day already irritated. The doctor has observed that patients who perform the trick in the morning report fewer episodes of tingling or burning throughout the day because they've already unlocked and activated the nerve pump before any stress or pressure builds up. On the other hand, doing the technique at night also brings powerful benefits. After a long day of walking, standing, or sitting, the nerves in the feet often feel compressed or tired. Even people with active jobs or healthy routines experience swelling or reduced circulation by evening. When you use the 1-minute method before sleep, you release the tension that has built up, improve circulation for the night, and help the nerves relax so they can repair themselves while you rest. This nighttime practice supports deeper recovery because the body does most of its healing during sleep. The nerves receive oxygen, the muscles unwind, and the pathways stay open instead of tightening overnight. Many people who adopt this routine notice they wake up with less stiffness because their feet are not starting the day from a restricted state. But even if someone chooses to do it only once a day, the doctor insists that the key is sticking to it. Nerves respond to routine the same way plants respond to regular watering. You don't need to drown a plant for it to grow, you just need to nourish it a little bit every day. The 1-minute nerve reset works the same way. It keeps the nerve pump active, prevents blood from stagnating, and keeps the pathways clear so signals between the feet and the brain stay sharp and stable. People often underestimate the impact of daily micro-movements, but the doctor's experience shows that nerves thrive on gentle, repeated stimulation rather than occasional intense effort. When done consistently, the foot begins to feel lighter, warmer, and more responsive. The sensations that once felt alarming or uncomfortable start to fade because the nerves are no longer starved or stressed. Over time, the brain also adapts to the improved nerve signals, reducing the misfires that cause burning or tingling. This consistent rewiring effect creates long-term relief, which is why the doctor says that missing the exercise occasionally isn't a problem, but abandoning it completely allows the old patterns to return. The beauty of consistency is that it slowly builds a new baseline for your body. Instead of your nerves defaulting to irritation or numbness, they start to default to clarity and proper function. Every day you spend 1 minute giving your nerves fresh blood and movement, you reinforce this healthier baseline. And the more days you do it, the stronger and more stable that baseline becomes. This is why so many people report that after a few weeks of daily practice, their symptoms don't just decrease, they stay away even during stressful or busy days. The technique becomes a protective habit, a way of maintaining nerve health before problems even appear. Consistency transforms this simple movement from a temporary fix into a long-term solution, empowering your body to stay balanced, energized, and free from the discomfort that once controlled your day.